Hi, I'm Simon with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we're going to show you how to repair your appliance. Are you ready? Remember, anytime you work on your appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. In this video, we'll show you how to replace the defrost heater in a Frigidaire refrigerator. It's going to be a very easy repair. Should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. For this job, we're going to need a 1/4-inch nut driver, a universal bit holder, Phillips screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, and a pair of large pliers. When you open up the package, you're going to get a new defrost heater. The main purpose of the defrost heater is to melt the frost of the evaporator coils, preventing it from icing over. The defrost heater operates by the electronic defrost control board, and it's located inside the freezing compartment at the lower portion behind the cover panel. The failure of the defrost heater will cause a complete freezing over the evaporator. That in turn will cause the temperature in the fresh food compartment to go way up or the freezer temperature to rise above normal, in some cases even melting the ice cubes. To get to the part, we need to open the freezer door. To remove the ice container and auger assembly, all we need to do is just lift it up slightly and pull it out. We'll continue with pulling out the drawers and removing the shelves. As you can see, I opened the fresh food door also because that way I can get closer to the rear screws. And using the 1/4-inch nut driver, we're going to take out a rear screw. Then we're going to remove the front screw, remove the right side rail, and we go on the opposite side. And using the same 1/4-inch nut driver, take out the rear screw first and the front one. Then we're going to remove the rail. Then we can go to the bottom ones, do the same thing. Taking out the rail. And now a little different. This middle sliding rails, we need to use a universal bit holder versus the 1/4-inch nut driver because of the thickness of the walls. This is way too thick compared to this one, and it's not going inside, so I cannot reach the screw. So that's why I'm going to use this. Our next subject would be removal of this rear panel. So 4 1/4-inch screws. Now we can pull out the cover. And that's what we see here. This is the evaporator coils, and this is the heater goes on the side. The next thing on our list is removing this Phillips screw at the top and the 1/4-inch screw right below it over here. I'm using the nut driver. At this point, I recommend you to put gloves on your hands to protect yourself from the sharp metal fins. You'll thank me. Using the large pliers, I'm going to pull out the heat shield as far as it can go. And now we're going to go up and bend the copper line at the top. Grab the copper line about in the middle there and start bending it out. So now we're going to pull more the heat shield out. I'm going to use the same large pliers. Be careful, don't do any quick movements. Alright, far enough. Now we're going to unplug this 2 wires. push the locking tab down and unplug one. Same thing here, unplug the second one. Then using the pliers again, we're going to bend this sheet metal out. And at some point, I think using fingers would be a little easier. Remember, don't do it without the gloves. And the same thing on the opposite side. Now we can remove this insulation little foam piece here. Push it back behind the heating element. I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver. You can use your long fingers if you've got any. And on the opposite side, probably gonna have to pull it out completely. Yes. And now we're gonna go to the bottom of the heating element and undo this retainer clip. So we're gonna open this little piece here. I can call it a little tail. And we're going to loosen up the clamp. I'm going to remove it here. Just straighten it out. And the defrost heater is ready to go out. Pull the heater straight down. And go to the side here. Well, that's a beauty. This is the old defrost heater next to the new one. If you don't have this part, you can get it from appliancepartspros.com. For some strange reason, as you can see, this heater is triangular shape. So in order to fit it into the coil, we need to make it parallel. So I'm going to bend it outwards. Okay, that will do it. All right, we're going to insert this heater from the bottom. And work it up. Continue working in this element up. We need to put this terminal inside this coil here. So I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver, then push it in there. Continue pushing it up. We can connect them right away, as long as we're here. The red plug is on the right. And then we'll have this brown and black. Now we're going to go to the bottom of the heater and we're going to secure it with that metal stripe. Grab that strip, bend it, thread it through, and bend it closed. See that little fins here at the bottom are slightly bent. I have to admit I did it, not on purpose, so we're gonna use a flathead screwdriver and we're gonna straighten them up. And the front also. We're gonna install this foam spacers here, insulators. On the side, we need to squeeze it in. And this side also. You can use a flathead screwdriver to push it in more. And now the evaporator goes back in. We're going to do it slowly, taking turns. First the bottom, then we're going to bend the tubing, then the bottom, then I'm going to bend the tubing. So do not rush. If you're gonna break that aluminum tubing, you're in a big expense. So now we're gonna bend these sides in. Again, I'm gonna start with my fingers. It's probably the best tool because of the space here is very limited. And now the fins, I'm gonna use a flathead screwdriver, and we're gonna just bend them slightly so they will look straight. Secure that shield with 1/4-inch screw, and then one more screw there on the top. It's a Phillips screw. Next, we're installing the cover. 4 1/4-inch screws. Next, we're going to install all the railing back. Start with the bottom. The long screws. If you remember, the short screws are only going into that retractable railings. So I'm going to use a 1/4-inch nut driver. Secure it. Then the opposite side. And I'm going to put in the top ones. They are identical with the bottom ones. Same long screws. 1/4-inch nut driver. And the opposite side. And now we're gonna do the middle sliding ones. I'm gonna slide forward that rail, and after we slide that rail forward, I'm gonna install the screw in, hold it with this universal bead driver, and install the screw. And I'm gonna slide the rail back in all the way till it locks in, and then we're going to install the front screw. A little tricky. Don't rush because there's no magnet in this thing. The right side rail has longer screws because it has a little plastic spacer. So we're going to put the screw in, hold it, and install it. Tighten it, and the front screw. Now we're going to put in drawers, slide it on the rail, and the second one, we're going to put it on that rails, and we need to push it down to lock. And the top one slides in, and the shelf. Before installing an ice container, I'd like you to pay attention to one little detail, very important. This part of the coupling supposed to be oriented different way than the coupling at the back there. In our case, it's actually the same way. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn the auger 90 degrees, 85 degrees approximately. And then we can install ice container in auger assembly by just sliding it in. Make sure it locks. And we can close the door now. Plug the fridge back in and make sure it's cooling. Thank you for being a part of another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. For any of your future appliance repair projects, please check out our other videos available on our site, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram.